Hey there, thanks for joining. It's been one heck of a crazy past three and a half weeks. I almost forgot what it's like to have an awful UC flare. But as it was going on, the very kind of creepy memories and just surreal, wild memories from things that had happened, a decade ago, came back really hard, and the cramping feeling, which to me is darn near the worst thing out of a UC flare. Personally, I think that's the worst, along with the bleeding that almost seems unbelievable to be able to happen. Anyway, I want to tell you a story about something, basically about 3 weeks of my life that just is getting wrapped up right now. And I hope you'll learn some things from it. I know I have. I definitely have learned quite a bit. I've also tried, and I'd say successfully, a medication, which I'm actually taking once a day right now, a new type of steroid. I know many folks have used, people with UC. That's what it's designed for. And we'll talk about a couple other things. But yeah, let me start off with, for all you that are, in the middle of a flare-up with UC, it's awful. It can be devastating. It can change major plans that you have in the near future. It can make you feel close to worthless. It can make you realize that you can't do things without help from other people, and you rely on people that you maybe didn't have to rely on. It can do a lot of things. It's really powerful. But it's a good time to learn about yourselves. I know I've learned a bit about myself, and also to learn about people that are around you. And also a good time to learn about the disease and what types of things there are out there to help you combat it. So, I learned a bunch. I hope to share it with you. And this is going to be maybe a little bit of a lengthy video. I'm not sure if I'm going to chop this thing up into multiple parts, but I hope you like it. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel. Leave comments. I will do my best to reply to everyone's comments on this because I think it's super important. And, all right, so you wanted to know how it started? Well, maybe similar to something others have dealt with. About 3 weeks ago, been traveling from Portugal to Spain in car. Been on the road for months now. Been feeling great for, I think it's been about 8 years since I've had a genuine nasty UC flare-up. Had some little bumps in the road here and there, but nothing like this. And I started noticing super watery stools. Watery. Minimal bleeding, maybe a little bit of blood on the toilet paper, but basically like watery, grainy, nothing stools. Like, what the heck? I'm eating 3 meals a day and snacks and eating all kinds of stuff. Not following any specific diet anymore. I stopped that a couple years ago. Drinking some beer, drinking wine, yet watery stools. And the frequency starts to increase and urgency starts to increase. The kind of thing where if we go out for a walk or we're coming back to wherever we're staying at, we're at the door, it's like, I'm going to the bathroom. Me. Not you, me. Okay. So, how long did I let this go on before I did anything? A good week, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 days. Went to a pharmacy trying to get some diarrhea pills, which, come on, Adam, you should know what this is. This is a UC flare. But asked the pharmacist, and she asked me how long I've had diarrhea for. I tell her 7 days, maybe it was 8 or 9, and she looked at me like, oh, that's a long time, son. Anyway, those pills did nothing for me. I only took them for 1 day. Thankfully, I stopped because the next day I went to the hospital. Yeah. So it's a bit strange when you're in a foreign country. In Spain, I'm in the city of Valencia. There's a couple million people here. It's a big city. I happen to know an ex-colleague who lives here and runs a pharmacy who happens to have a cousin who works in the digestive center within the emergency room. So that was kind of a, not a typical story, but I go to the emergency room, I check in there, I get the little wristband deal, and tell them kind of what's going on in Spanish/English. I get a blood test comes back normal. I'm asked to take a stools test, but I wasn't able to produce that, which means in Spanish, él no puede cagar. He can't poop. I learned that phrase, that was kind of fun. And then they took a picture of kind of x-ray deal of my abdomen, which came back normal as well. So in the follow-up meeting with the gastro specialist, not my friend's cousin, but a colleague of hers, it was, okay, this is what you do. Take Pentasa, you have a mild to moderate flare, 4 grams for 4 times a day, 1,000 milligrams, 4 grams, and then wean down a little bit to 2 grams a day for maintenance here on out. She also gave me a prescription for Flagyl, which is an antibiotic for a week, which I found strange. I'm scared of antibiotics because I've had C. diff in the past, years ago, which can come on more prone for people with UC, but also after antibiotics, especially. So I'd like to stay away from antibiotics, and I haven't taken antibiotics in years. Anyways, I got back home, felt a little bit better, especially the blood test came in relatively normal. And I emailed my gastro doctor back in California, who also has UC, who I've done a review for on the site, Dr. Stolman, awesome guy in the East Bay. That's where he works out of. Anyways, I'm going to send you I'm going to read off to you the email that I sent, and to give you kind of a better idea. Hi doctor, I went to the hospital yesterday here in Valencia, Spain, and met a GI specialist. I have had liquidy, grainy stools, relatively clear, sometimes urgency, some blood on the toilet paper for 8 days now. That was my recollection. 3 to 6 bowel movements per day. She didn't think C. diff based on blood test results. Blood work came back all normal, according to her. I never took the antibiotics that she's recommended, and I'm interested in your ideas. She thought I have a mild to moderate UC flare. My question, she prescribed Pentasa sachets, 1,000 milligrams each 4 times a day to start, then wean down to 2 a day for maintenance. She also prescribed 7 days of Flagyl antibiotics, which I found strange and haven't taken. Again, for my fear of C. diff, but I'd like to hear your story. Would you have any thoughts? As always, super much appreciated, and attached are my blood results in Spanish, but I'm sure you'll get the point. My gastro doc wrote back. Hello, Adam. And he wrote back. Jeez. 2 hours later, I probably wrote him about midnight Spanish time. Happy to weigh in. Can't rule out or rule in C. diff on blood tests. Only on a stool test. But if no recent antibiotics, not impossible, but not likely. If it is a UC flare, Pentasa, one kind of mesalamine, is reasonable and appropriate. Flagyl is about the only antibiotic that does not cause C. diff. So no need to avoid from that perspective. In fact, it's a C. diff treatment, but it's not usual for UC, so I don't think I'd take it. Let me know how things go. All right, that's his response. If you're not familiar with C. diff, do some research on it. Written about it quite a bit on the IHaveUC.com website, so you can go and peep that out all you want. But I'm going to get to the next kind of stage as this thing develops, this flare story. And just for time reference, this email was on January 29th. Today's February 15th. And, well, you'll have to watch the next video where I get into more of the details and the play-by-play action. But things were getting pretty interesting. All right, thanks for watching. Again, like the video, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, you might learn something.